Hello YouTube, this is WhattayaBrian playing Distorted Travesty. Distorted Travesty is a game by Zephyrburst. You can find the link in the description. It combines elements of RPGs, action games, platformers, and even bullet hell games to some extent. There are a number of Let's Plays that already exist on YouTube, but there's only one Let's Play on the hardest difficulty, and it is unfortunately not in English, so for the English speakers, I would like to do a Let's Play of the distorted difficulty. As you can see, or maybe you can't read, but it says it will induce madness. This is true. Something important about the distorted difficulty is that while on the previous three difficulties, whenever you achieve a game over, you can switch your difficulty if it's getting a bit too hard for you. If you choose Distorted, you are locked onto Distorted for the entire game, and you cannot change at all. So that's what we will be playing on. The game stars the two protagonists, Jerry and Jeremy. Jerry is the guy there on the screen that you play, and Jeremy is your friend from afar who gives you a bunch of tips. I'll try to go through the text somewhat slowly, but that's not the point of the video, so if I accidentally speed through, I apologize. As you can see, once again, maybe you can't, the game has some tongue-in-cheek humor, meta-humor involving, you know, text boxes covering up other text boxes. There's a save room right here, it always looks the same, just press up right here, and I've saved our game. And there are these binary indices around that give you helpful hints or various background information. As you can see, you can jump, you can dash, which is very important, and of course, you have an attack button. What's important about attack is that every third attack, regardless of whether you've hit an enemy or not, or whether you switch types of attacks, will always do bonus damage. There is the wide attack, the forward attack, down attack, up attack, and the ever useless downward burst from the air that becomes more powerful the longer you travel. However, it doesn't really find a lot of use throughout the game. You also get, as you can see in the top right, a number of different spells. Actually, let me turn on, where's the, there we go, show elemental glow. I don't know why this is defaulted to off because it's super important. Now you can see I'm glowing red. That means I'm in the fire element now. Every time I attack, my fire element in the top right goes down. That is also what I use for my fireball spell right now. And water, wind, and earth. And each of these have a number of spells that eventually I unlock, but for now I have one of each except for earth, which has two. I also have a healing spell, which is very nice. And there are also physical spells which I use with a different button that I don't have any yet. Throughout the game, you will pick up skill crystals and eventually gain enough to exactly fill this entire grid of various enhancements to your character that make a gigantic difference throughout the game. And that is all we really need to know for now, until we see our first enemy. Burr. Dash. Oh man. I apologize, I'm used to late game Jerry. Moving platform, lots of platforming. And there is our first enemy. As you can see, you can use the mouse to click on enemies to get information about them. And they give you some combat data, and you can press L to get Jeremy's comments, which are generally less gameplay oriented and more you know, out of context or whatever. Of important note is in the bottom left, you can see the resistances. So this is basically the core of the combat system. If you want to damage the crab walkers, you can either switch your basic attack to the earth element and hit them with that, or you can cast earth related spells which will do more damage. But also of note is the cripple point, as seen right above the resistances, which tell you a series of attacks that, when done in that order, or just one if there's only one, they will... the foghorn is going. Just wait that out. It's some like water heater thing, I can't really stop it. If you do those attacks in the right order, then you will cripple them, and that reduces their defenses. In the lower difficulties, this is not that important, but in Distorted, it is exceptionally important, because you will do almost no damage. There's a chest, got some Skittles. I will not be using consumables at all during this game. Oh man, we're gonna fight people. This is just a little place to test your skills, learn how to attack. Boop. There are levels in this game. The max level is 64. Now you can see, if we remember, these guys are weak to earth, so if I do an earth downward strike, you can see it said cripple. And I'm doing significantly more damage. And I'm getting hit. That guy dropped a health, which you can just pick up by walking over. I will probably not be scanning most enemies throughout this because it really breaks up the action, but I will scan all bosses. This is a save point. Press up and you can heal back to full. Something of great importance is that while you are in the save room, your spirit and your elemental energy both regen much faster. The reason this is important is that, especially on Distorted difficulty, I am going to be using these save points to heal back up to full before progressing into the next room. It doesn't take that long, but some people will complain. Don't really care because it's Distorted and I need all the help I can get. Of course, enemies respawn when you leave the room and come back. Some pretty trivial platforming. Another level. These switches, you can just hit. And then it opens something. There was probably a door here, I don't remember. Now the pause menu info is meant to cover this up, but we know better. This is the first of our skill crystals. I'll just go ahead and put that somewhere now. Most important is probably earth. Just for the healing is very useful. Just basically saying what I just told you. That crystal has a gem in it, and its color is what element you need to cast on it. Oh, I didn't even hit it. Every enemy, pretty much, other than bosses, gets stunned for an amount of time when you hit them. That keeps them from moving. This is super important because for most enemies you can stun lock them until they're dead, especially once you get an accessory later that improves the amount of time that you stun enemies when you attack them. And they will even get stunned in midair. Another skill capsule just given to us for free. So here's an example of, like, I don't have full health, so I will turn on my healing spell and just do that, and then wait for my elemental energy and spirit energy to fill back up very quickly. Let's save. Check out my new skill point crystal. Decrease earth usage, because we want these save points to last shorter. And you can see, every once in a while, one of my attacks will do more damage. That is the third strike I was talking about before. Come on. And there's a Mega Man life up that you cannot get. And here we learn about Rave Mode. Without wasting time to read that, Rave Mode is a mode that you have to fill up an energy bar in order to use, but then when you do, you become completely immune to all enemies. You do not become immune to traps. And you do exceptionally increased damage. Come on, spawn. Oh, do I have to start it first? There we go. Woo, I can now gain Rave Energy. There's no way to turn it off, you have to wait for your bar to just empty. I'm at full health, nothing to do here. Eventually you get an air dash, makes everything way faster. But for now I can only ground dash. I can't even get up there yet! This is wind. Boop. Makes this platform go. Pretty simple. Bloodbath.
Double kill.
Ah.
Double kill.
Oh, another important mechanic is that if you are in a downward trajectory and you hit an enemy, you will pop back up. So that doesn't work if you're going up, but if you're going down, then you can keep yourself popped up by continuing to hit an enemy. Super helpful, especially for bosses that fly in the air. It reduces the amount of aggravation. Bottomless pits are in fact bottomless. Let me take care of this guy. The tooltip there mentioned awesome points. Awesome points are sort of a, you do cool combos, you get awesome points, and they increase your EXP bonus. Sort of a nice subtle effect on the game. Here's a health upgrade, about what you would expect. I'm bad. Now here is the first boss. But first, of course, we will heal up. Although this boss should not prove to be that difficult. An interesting thing about the distorted difficulty is that many boss fights have an additional effect. For example, this electric line did not appear in any difficulty prior. Of course, very important note, you cannot use Rave Mode during boss fights. And you can't use items either, but I wouldn't be using those anyway. Click on the boss. Now, this starts happening less and less as you get farther into the game, but in the combat data it says near the end, this thing has a weakness to water and especially fire, and its cripple point is fireball. So we will be using fire throughout this fight. I'm probably not gonna wait for all these. If you want to see them, play the game. So this is the first battle where you really probably need to use dash for its invincibility frames, and I am just failing really hard. And I should not be getting damaged. Otherwise, he doesn't do a whole lot, just summon some rocks. And I can't hit him up there. Dash through the rocks, you are completely invulnerable while dashing. Oh my goodness. You can see that my attacks, the claws are sometimes not red. This is because I am running low on fire energy. Goodness gracious. And so my attacks are not being filled with the elemental power. Almost done. Oh, I'm really ashamed of myself. This is what I get. Oh, and they full healed me. Cool. You'll meet this guy throughout the game. He sells you stuff. Because I'm not using items, I will never buy these. However, he sells permanent upgrades as the last 4 items. But he has none of them available, so we will continue on. Boom! Skill crystal. Actually, this is super useful. Increase cripple time by 5 and 5 seconds. Exceptionally useful for boss fights, where, especially as the cripple actions you have to do become more difficult, you want them to stay crippled as long as possible.
Killing spree. Double kill.
Boop boop boop. If the game seems easy now, trust me. This is just the starting area.
Dominating.
Ah!
Double kill. Multi-kill.
Honestly, the dash mechanic is, while super useful, one of my least favorite parts, at least in terms of control. The way you dash is you can backdash by holding down and pressing jump, and you can forward dash by holding up and pressing jump. However, if you apply any horizontal momentum, you immediately cancel your forward dash, which makes it very difficult to forward dash while running, because if you hold up and to the right, you end up getting one of these, which is not really what you want at all. But you can do, you know, the forward, if you hold like down and to the left, you can do or down in either direction will do a sort of standing dash that'll let you grab the invincibility frames without moving as much, which can be useful. The 5 dots up here are your dash meter. Basically, whenever you use one, it uses up one of them, and they come back to you over time. It's not super important for most of the time, but there are some cases where the limiting factor is important, or is at least affects the way you play the game. Oh, an interesting thing about this game that is very important for a lot of maps is that once enemies spawn, they never despawn. Or it takes an extremely large amount of space for them to despawn. So if you leave, for example, an enemy who can shoot horizontal shots alive, then he will be shooting at you for a very long time. Usually until you leave the room. So it's best to kill everything unless you know what you're doing. What am I doing? And we're at the end of the dungeon. Oh no! And now we're in Mario Land. Hooray! Mental Insurrection. The most useful physical skill ever. Boom! Instantaneous PB AoE damage, which is useful in and of itself, but more importantly, it sort of pops you up. Doesn't seem like much, but it is a godsend. Especially when you are doing strict platforming segments. Oh man. I just got hit by a Goomba. Feel bad. Oh wait, binary index. The artist. Wonder who he is. Ah. No, we don't need to kill all these guys. Rupees are the currency. Oh, right, I can go up there. You find them in very small increments, although there are really certain money-making schemes you can do, but otherwise, you find most of them in chests. And importantly, if you find an item when you already have max of that item, you get a sufficient or some amount of internets in compensation for that. Cripple time! Most of the items are very easy to get at this point. Just sort of jump up and get them.
Killing spree.
I don't think I can get this one yet, because I need... yeah. I'll have to come back. Most of the power-ups you can get on the first time through, but some of them you can't. So, we'll have to come back and get that one. Oh, really? Oh, I can't get that one either. That's sad. Oh, yep, I see. Pop-up, super useful. Anyway. Full of bills. Aha! Wait out the story. I don't think I can get up there yet. Just need to not take all this damage. It's not boding well for later. I don't think there's a question mark block that actually contains anything useful in the game. But it's just... it feels so good to hit. Money! The different chest graphics always correspond to different things. There's 3 types of chests. One that contains money, one that contains consumable items, and one that contains accessories, which I have not gotten any of yet. So I don't think so. Yeah. Completely empty. There's so many things I'm missing. Can I really not get this? Yeah, I can. Okay. Sad face. So cathartic. Look at that. To Toad Town! And we are to the world map. This is the most important part. If you press the confirm button, which is J, you will see a star. Well, I don't actually have everything, so you won't see it, but a star will appear next to things that you have all the items out of. And I think I'll go to Toad Town. This will be the end of the video. You can also reset your skill tree for some paltry amount of money. Here's my first permanent upgrades that I can grab from here. And here is a health upgrade and my first accessory, the shield bee. Increases my physical defense. Can I talk to... Can't talk to this guy because they're in the same plane. I only have 1 space to equip it, but I only have 1, so it works out. I don't know if I can actually grab... Oh, I can get that. Easy enough. Each of these gives me a small amount of max health. I can't get that yet. And instead of talking to the guy who gives me my next quest, I'll simply save and end the video. See you next time, YouTube.